The space station floated in the darkness between dead stars. It was old. Older than any human could imagine. The 5 great empires of the galaxy had built it long ago as a place where they could meet and talk without fighting. They called it the neutral ground. Today, the station was full of aliens. They came from every corner of the galaxy. Some had scales. Some had many eyes. Some floated in special tanks because they could not breathe normal air. They all had one thing in common. They were here to watch humanity fall. Admiral Tejo stood at the window of his small ship and looked at the station. He was a tall man with gray hair and calm eyes. He had fought in 3 wars. He had buried friends. He had seen things that would break most men. But today, he showed nothing on his face. His heart was steady. His hands did not shake. "Sir, they are ready for us," said Captain Yuna. She was younger than him, but her eyes were just as hard. She had grown up on a colony that aliens had attacked. She remembered the screams. She remembered the fire. She never forgot. "Then let us not keep them waiting," Tejo said quietly. The human delegation was small. Only 12 people. They walked through the station halls while aliens watched them from every side. Some aliens laughed. Some pointed. One large creature with 4 arms spit on the floor as they passed. Tejo did not react. He simply walked forward. The main chamber was huge. It could hold thousands. Today, the 5 rulers of the 5 great empires sat on high platforms, looking down at the small group of humans like gods looking at insects. High Speaker Vorath of the Kellan Dominion sat in the center. He was ancient. His species lived for thousands of years, and he had ruled for 800 of them. His skin was like stone, gray and cracked. His eyes burned with cold fire. He had destroyed entire species before. He had erased civilizations from history. To him, humans were nothing. Less than nothing. "You came," Vorath said. His voice was deep and filled the chamber. "I did not think you would have the courage." Tejo bowed his head slightly, just enough to show respect, not enough to show fear. "We received your invitation," Tejo said. "It would be rude to refuse." Vorath laughed. The sound was like rocks grinding together. "Rude," he repeated. "Yes. Humans worry so much about being rude." "It is amusing." The other rulers laughed too. Emissary Dren of the Hollow Collective made a sound like breaking glass. The twin queens of the Vesh Empire clicked their tongues. Commander Thol of the Iron Belt snorted through his many nostrils. Tejo waited. He let them laugh. He stood still like a statue. When the laughter stopped, Vorath leaned forward. "Let us not waste time," he said. "We have called you here to discuss your future. Or rather, to tell you what your future will be." A hologram appeared in the center of the room. It showed human space, all the colonies, all the stations, all the little worlds that humanity had worked so hard to build. "You control 47 systems," Vorath said. "This is too many. You are young, you are weak, you do not deserve so much space." Tejo said nothing. "Here are our terms," Vorath continued. "You will give us 70% of your territory. You will share all your weapons and technology. You will accept protectorate status under our guidance. You will obey." The chamber was silent. Every alien watched the humans, waiting for them to cry, waiting for them to beg. Tejo took a slow breath. "And if we refuse?" he asked. Vorath smiled. It was not a kind smile. "Then we will take everything," he said. "We will burn your worlds. We will scatter your people. We will make sure that in 1,000 years, no one remembers the name human. You will become dust and forgotten stories." The other rulers nodded. They had done this before. Many times. Young species always surrendered when they heard these words. Fear always won. Tejo looked at Vorath for a long moment. Then he looked at the other rulers. One by one. His face showed nothing. No fear. No anger. Nothing at all. "I understand your terms," Tejo said. "These are serious matters. We must discuss them with our people. We will give you our answer in 7 standard days. Vorath's smile disappeared. 7 days? He growled. I am not making demands, Tejo said calmly. I am asking for time to consult my people. This is reasonable. You have 3 days, Vorath said. Not 7, 3. And if we do not hear your surrender by then, our fleets will move. Do you understand? Tejo nodded slowly. I understand, he said. He turned to leave. His delegation followed. Wait, Emissary Dren called out. You have nothing else to say? No arguments? No begging? Tejo stopped at the door. He looked back over his shoulder. What would be the point? He asked. You have already decided what you want. Words will not change that. Then he walked out. The rulers looked at each other. This was strange. This was not how young species behaved. They should be crying by now. They should be on their knees. They are in shock, Commander Thol said. They cannot believe this is happening. They will surrender soon. Perhaps, Vorath said slowly. But something in his old heart felt cold. Something felt wrong. The human's eyes had been too calm. Too steady. He pushed the feeling away. Humans were weak. Everyone knew this. Their ships were few. Their weapons were simple. They had only been in space for 200 years. They were children playing in a galaxy of giants. 3 days. Then humanity would fall like all the others. On his ship, Tejo sat in his chair and closed his eyes. Captain Yuna stood beside him. They are fools, she said quietly. They see only what they want to see. Yes, Tejo agreed, and that is their greatest weakness. He opened his eyes. There was something new in them now. Something cold and hard. Send the signal to Earth, he said. Tell them to begin Protocol Omega. We have 3 days to change the galaxy forever. Yuna smiled. It was not a kind smile. With pleasure. Sir. The small human fleet turned and flew away from the station. The aliens watched them go and laughed again. They would not be laughing for long. Earth was beautiful from space. Blue and green and white. The home of humanity. The place where everything began. Deep below the surface, in a bunker that no alien had ever seen, General Dae Sung watched the screens and waited. He was an old soldier. His face was covered with scars from battles long ago. His left hand was made of metal because he had lost the real one, saving his men. He had served humanity for 50 years, and he had been waiting for this day since he was young. Sir, Admiral Tejo's message has arrived, said Lieutenant J. He was young, barely 25, but he was the best communications officer in the fleet. Protocol. Omega is confirmed, Dae Sung nodded slowly. Then we begin. He said. Send the order to all colonies. Total blackout. No signals. No messages. Nothing. The order went out across human space like a wave of silence. One by one, the colonies went dark. The space stations stopped transmitting. The ships disappeared from sensors. In less than 6 hours, humanity became invisible. The aliens noticed almost immediately. In the halls of the Kellan Dominion, spies reported that they could not find human ships anywhere. In the Hollow Collective, sensors showed empty space where busy human colonies had been just hours before. The Vesh Empire sent scouts to investigate. They found nothing, only empty stations and quiet worlds. Where did they go? Emissary Dren asked. A species cannot simply vanish. They are hiding, High Speaker Vorath said. Like frightened animals. They know what is coming. But deep in his heart, that cold feeling grew stronger. Something was wrong. On Earth, Dr. Hana walked through a secret facility that existed on no map. She was a small woman with kind eyes. But her mind was sharper than any blade. She had spent 30 years building weapons that the galaxy had never seen. Is everything ready? General Dae Sung asked through the communication screen. Project Threshold is online, Hana said. All systems are active. We have been preparing for this moment for a very long time, General. We will not fail. She looked at the machines around her. They hummed with power. They held secrets that would shake the galaxy to its core. Humanity had always known the truth. The galaxy was not kind. The galaxy was not fair. From the very first moment humans met alien life, they saw the danger. The first contact had been a massacre. 3 human colonies destroyed in a single day. Millions dead, men, women, and children burned to ash. The aliens called it a misunderstanding. They said humans had been in the wrong place. They offered no apology, no justice, nothing. The human leaders smiled and accepted. They signed peace treaties. They traded goods. They pretended to be weak and grateful. But in secret, they prepared. Every year, hidden factories built new ships. Every month, scientists created new weapons. Every day, human spies went deeper into alien space, learning their secrets, mapping their weaknesses. The aliens thought humans were young and foolish. They never guessed the truth. They never imagined that the smiling humans were counting the days until revenge. Secretary Wu Jin entered the war room with a thick folder in his hands. He was the head of human intelligence. He knew every alien secret. He had agents in every empire. The final report, he said, placing the folder on the table. Fleet positions for all 5 empires. Command structures. Communication codes. The locations of their leaders and their families. Everything. General Daesung opened the folder and read in silence. Then he smiled. It was a cold smile. A soldier's smile. They have no idea, he said. They still think we are weak. That is what we wanted them to think, Wu Jin said. For 200 years, we let them laugh at us. We let them mock us. We let them believe they were safe. And now? Now they will learn the truth. In alien space, the empires grew nervous. 1 day of silence passed. Then 2. Their spies sent no reports. Their sensors showed nothing. Human space was like a grave. Quiet and dark and empty. High Speaker Vorath addressed the other rulers through a secure channel. They are running, he said. They are fleeing to the edges of the galaxy. Let them run. When the 3 days are over, we will hunt them down and finish them. But Emissary Dren was not so sure. Something is wrong, Dren said. Humans are strange creatures. They do not behave like other young species. They did not beg. They did not cry. Their admiral looked at us without fear. You give them too much credit. Commander Thole laughed. They are insects. Nothing more. Perhaps, Dren said, but insects can carry poison. On the 3rd morning, Lieutenant Jay sat at his station and listened to alien communications. They were already celebrating. They were already dividing human space among themselves. They were laughing and making jokes about human weakness. Jay recorded every word, every laugh, every insult. They will regret this, he whispered to himself. General Daesung stood in the center of the war room. Around him, hundreds of officers waited in silence. The screens showed the positions of every alien fleet. The maps showed every alien world. Today, we answer them, Daesung said. For 200 years, we have been silent. We have been patient. We have smiled while they spat in our faces. We have bowed while they threatened our children. He paused. His eyes were hard as stone. No more, he said. Today they learn what humans truly are. Today, they learn why they should have left us alone. He turned to the communications officer. Send the signal to Admiral Teho. Tell him to deliver our reply. The message flew across the stars. Fast and invisible. In his ship, Admiral Teho received it. He read the simple words and nodded. It is time, he said to Captain Yuna. Let us show them what we have built in the darkness. Yuna's eyes burned with something ancient, something fierce. They wanted to know humanity's answer. She said. The small human fleet turned toward the neutral ground. But this time, they were not alone. This time, the darkness behind them was full of shadows. And those shadows had teeth. The galaxy was about to change forever. The deadline came like a storm. High Speaker Vorath sat on his throne and smiled. 3 days had passed. Humanity had not surrendered. Now, they would pay the price. Send the fleets, he commanded. Burn their worlds, leave nothing behind. Across the 5 empires, massive war fleets began to move. Thousands of ships, each one larger than anything humans had ever built. They jumped through space toward human colonies, ready to destroy everything in their path. The first fleet arrived at New Sol, a human farming colony on the edge of human space. The alien commander expected to see small defense ships. He expected to see humans running in fear. Instead, he found nothing. The colony was empty. The buildings were there. The farms were there. But no people. No ships. No life at all. Where are they? The commander asked. Scan the entire system. His sensors found nothing. The humans had vanished like ghosts. At the same moment, alarms began to sound across the galaxy. Not in human space. In alien space. On the homeworlds of every empire. Unknown contacts, an officer screamed on the Kellan homeworld. Ships appearing at the edge of our system. Thousands of them. High Speaker Vorath felt his blood turn cold. That is impossible, he said. Human ships cannot reach our space that fast. They do not have the technology. But the screens did not lie. Ships were appearing everywhere. Around the Kellan homeworld. Around the Hollow Collective capital. Around every major planet of every empire. Admiral Teho's voice suddenly filled every communication channel in the galaxy. Every alien heard his words at the same moment. This is Admiral Teho of the United Human Fleet, he said. His voice was calm and steady. Humanity declines your terms. We will not surrender. We will not bow. We will not beg. Instead, we have a message for you. Captain Yuna stood on the bridge of her ship, the Defiance. It was not the small vessel the aliens had seen before. It was a warship. A monster of metal and fire. Around her, thousands of identical ships waited in formation. All fleets, reveal positions, she ordered. Across the galaxy, human ships dropped their hiding shields. They had been there for days. Hiding in dimensional pockets. Waiting in the darkness between stars. The aliens had never seen them. Never sensed them. Now they appeared like nightmares becoming real. Navigator Sung Ho counted the ships on his screen. 10,000. 20,000. 50,000. More than anyone had imagined. More than anyone had believed possible. How is this possible? Emissary Dren whispered. They only had 12 ships. We watched them. We counted them. But those 12 ships had been a lie. A mask. A trick played on fools who thought they were clever. High Speaker Vorath stared at the screens showing human ships surrounding his homeworld. His hands shook. For the first time in 800 years, he felt true fear. This cannot be real, he said. This is a trick, an illusion. A new transmission came through. Admiral Teho appeared on the screen. Behind him, stars burned, and human ships filled the sky. No trick, Teho said quietly. No illusion. For 200 years, we built in secret. While you laughed at us, we grew stronger. While you mocked us, we prepared. While you planned our destruction, we mapped every weakness in your empires. He paused. His eyes were cold as ice. You know where our worlds are. You threatened our children. You promised to erase us from history. Teho leaned forward. Now you will learn a simple truth. We know where you live too. We know where your families sleep. We have been among you for 100 years. And we are no longer hiding. The alien rulers could not speak. Their mouths opened and closed like dying fish. Captain Yuna opened a channel to all human ships. Demonstration strike, she ordered. Target. The 4th moon of the Kellan outer world. Fire. A single human ship launched a single weapon. It flew through space, small and fast. It hit the moon. The explosion was beyond anything the aliens had ever seen. The moon did not crack. It did not break apart. It simply ceased to exist. One moment, it was there. The next moment, there was only fire and dust and nothing. Silence filled the galaxy. Navigator Sung Ho broadcast coordinates to every alien world. Millions of coordinates. Every capital. Every military base. Every command center. Every palace where rulers lived. These are our targets, Admiral Tejo said. Every important place in your empires. We can reach all of them. We can destroy all of them. And you cannot stop us. High Speaker Vorath finally found his voice. What do you want? He asked. His voice cracked. What do you want from us? Tejo was quiet for a moment. We want you to understand something, he said. We came to your station in peace. We asked for time to consider your demands. We did nothing wrong. But you threatened our families. You planned to burn our homes. You wanted to erase our children from existence. His voice grew harder. We do not forgive that. We do not forget that. For every human who died in your first attack, for every child who burned, for every mother who screamed, we remember. We built all of this because of you. We became this because you gave us no choice. Captain Yuna watched the alien homeworlds on her screen. Her finger rested near the firing controls. She thought of her colony. She thought of the fire. She thought of her family's screams. Sir, she said quietly, give the order. We can end them now. All of them. Admiral Tejo closed his eyes for a moment. When he opened them, they were sad. No, he said. That is not who we are. That is not who we will become. He turned back to the screen where the alien rulers watched with terrified eyes. We could destroy you, he said. Right now, today, we could end every empire in this galaxy. But we will not. Because we are human. And humans do not become monsters just because monsters threaten them. He stood straighter. You have 1 hour to begin peace talks. Real peace talks. Fair terms. Equal respect. If you refuse, we will not destroy your worlds. But we will destroy every ship, every weapon, every military base you have. And then you will face the galaxy with nothing. The choice is yours. The transmission ended. In the silence that followed, the 5 rulers of the 5 great empires looked at each other. And for the first time in their long lives, they understood true fear. The humans had won. But more than that, the humans had shown mercy. And somehow, that was even more terrifying. Chaos spread through the 5 empires like fire through dry grass. On every world, on every station, aliens ran and screamed and hid. Their mighty fleets meant nothing now. Their ancient power meant nothing. The humans surrounded them, and there was nowhere to run. Emissary Dren sat alone in a dark room. The screens showed human ships hanging in the sky above the hollow collective capital. Thousands of them. Silent and waiting. How? Dren whispered. How did they do this? A door opened behind Dren. A figure stepped inside. It was Commander Bo-Ra, one of Dren's most trusted advisors. She had served the Hollow Collective for 40 years. I can answer that question, Bo-Ra said. Dren turned. Bo-Ra? What are you doing here? You should be at your station. Bo-Ra smiled. It was a strange smile, a human smile. My station has changed, she said. My real name is Bo-Ra Kim. I am a commander in the Human Intelligence Service. I have been living among your people for 4 decades. My real name is Bo-Ra Kim. My real name is Bo-Ra Kim. Dren's eyes went wide. Impossible. Our scans would have detected you. Our doctors examined you. Your scans saw what we wanted them to see, Bo-Ra said. Your doctors examined a body we designed to fool them. Humans are very good at pretending to be something they are not. We have had to be. It was the only way to survive. Dren fell back in the chair. Everything was falling apart. How many of you are there? Dren asked. How many spies? Bo-Ra shrugged. Thousands. In every empire. In every government. In your military. Your science labs. Your royal houses. We have been watching you for a very long time. Emissary, we know everything about you. Your secrets, your weaknesses, your fears. She leaned closer. We know about the deal you made with High Speaker Vorath. You were going to take the richest human colonies for yourself. You were going to use our children as workers in your mines. Dren could not deny it. It was true. All of it. Why are you telling me this? Dren asked. Because the humans want you to understand, Bo-Ra said. They could have attacked without warning. They could have destroyed everything and asked questions later. But they chose to talk first. They chose to give you a chance. That is who humans are. They are dangerous, yes. But they are also kind. And that is why you should be very, very afraid. Afraid of kindness? Afraid of what happens when you hurt someone kind, Bo-Ra said. They forgive once, maybe twice. But eventually, kindness runs out. And what remains is something terrible. On the Kellan homeworld, Scholar Crix ran through the ancient libraries. He was old, even by Kellan standards. He had spent his whole life studying other species. Now, he searched desperately for anything about humans. He found old records, very old records from the first human contact. The reports said humans were primitive, weak, easy to control. They had simple ships and basic weapons. They were no threat to anyone, but there were other notes. Small notes that nobody had paid attention to. One note said, humans show strange behavior after loss. They do not surrender like other species. They become quiet. They become patient. They wait. Another note said, human children are taught old stories about survival. Stories about never giving up. Stories about fighting against impossible odds. These stories seem to matter deeply to them. A third note said, warning. Humans appear to learn very quickly. They watch everything. They remember everything. Recommend careful observation. Crix read these notes with growing horror. The warnings had been there all along, but no one had listened. Everyone had been too busy laughing. He found one more note. It was from a Kellan spy who had visited Earth many years ago. The note said, humans have a saying. They call it, hope for the best, prepare for the worst. I believe they truly mean this. I believe they are preparing for something. I recommend we find out what. The note was 200 years old. No one had followed up on it. No one had cared. Crix closed the book and sat in the darkness. The humans had been preparing for 2 centuries. Right under their noses. And no one had seen it. On Earth, General Dae Sung watched the alien reactions on his screens. He saw their panic. He saw their fear. He felt no joy. Only a grim satisfaction that the plan had worked. They are sending peace messages, Lieutenant Jay reported. All 5 empires. They want to negotiate. Of course they do, Dae Sung said. They have no choice. Sir, Jay asked quietly, why did we not just destroy them? We could have. It would have been easy. Dae Sung was silent for a long moment. Because that is what they would have done, he said finally. And we are not them. We fight when we must. We kill when there is no other way. But we do not become monsters. We do not forget who we are. He turned to look at Jay. My grandfather died in the first attack. My mother grew up without a father. I joined the military because I wanted revenge. I wanted to burn their worlds, like they burned ours. His voice grew softer. But then I had children, and I understood something. If we become like them, we lose everything that makes us human. We become just another empire that destroys and conquers. Our children would grow up in a galaxy of ashes. And for what? Because we wanted revenge? He shook his head. No, we are better than that. We have to be. Otherwise, everything we built means nothing. High Speaker Vorath sat alone in his throne room. His guards had fled. His advisors had hidden. The great ruler of the Kellan Dominion was alone with his fear. He had lived for 800 years. He had crushed countless enemies. He had never known defeat. Now, he understood how wrong he had been about everything. The humans were not weak. They had never been weak. They had simply chosen to appear weak. They had let the galaxy believe they were harmless while they built an army in the shadows. And now that army surrounded his world, silent, patient, waiting, just like the humans had waited for 200 years. Vorath finally understood the truth. The humans had never been the prey. They had been the hunters all along. And he, the ancient and mighty High Speaker, had walked straight into their trap. He reached for his communication device with shaking hands. "I accept," he said. "I accept whatever terms they offer. Please, please just make them go away." But even as he spoke, he knew the truth. The humans would never truly go away. They would be watching, forever, waiting to see if the aliens had learned their lesson, and the galaxy would never forget the day humanity showed its true face. 1 month passed. The galaxy was quiet now. Not the silence of fear, but the silence of change. Everything was different. Everything had shifted. And at the center of it all stood humanity. The old Galactic Council no longer existed. In its place, a new council had been formed. This time, humans sat at the table as equals. Not above, not below. Equals. Counselor Yunji was the first human to address the reformed council. She was young for such an important role. Only 45 years old. But her eyes held the wisdom of her entire species. The alien representatives watched her with a mixture of fear and respect. They remembered what human ships had done to that moon. They remembered how easily everything could have ended. "You are wondering why we did not destroy you," Unji said. Her voice was calm and clear. "Your empires threatened our existence. Your fleets were ready to burn our worlds. By every law of war, we had the right to end you completely." The aliens said nothing. They knew it was true. "But we made a different choice," Yunji continued. "We chose mercy. Not because we are weak. You have seen our strength. You know what we can do. We chose mercy because it is who we are, because revenge is easy, but building something better is hard, and humans have never been afraid of hard work." She looked around the room at each representative. "You mistook our kindness for weakness, our patience for fear, our silence for submission. Learn from this error. We will not teach this lesson twice." The representatives nodded quickly. They had already learned. They would never forget. Admiral Tejo did not stay for the politics. That was not his place. Instead, he returned to Earth, to the quiet hills where he had grown up, to the memorial that stood in a small park overlooking the ocean. The memorial was simple. A wall of names. Millions of names. Every human who had died in the first alien attack. Every man, woman, and child who had been erased in a single day. Tejo stood before the wall and searched until he found the names he was looking for. His grandparents, his uncle, his cousin, who had been only 3 years old. "We did it," he said quietly to the names. "We made them see us. We made them respect us. And we did not become like them." The wind blew softly. The names seemed to shimmer in the sunlight. "I hope you are proud of us," Tejo whispered. He stood there for a long time, alone with his memories and his grief. In the great halls of the Kellan Dominion, High Speaker Vorath signed the final document. They called it the Tejo Accords. The humans had named it after their admiral, a reminder that would last forever. The terms were fair. No species lost territory. No species was enslaved. But new rules existed now. No empire could threaten another without consequences. No species could be attacked without justice. And humanity would be watching to make sure everyone followed the rules. Vorath's hand shook as he signed. Not from age. From shame. 800 years of power. 800 years of believing he was above everyone else. And a species that had been in space for only 2 centuries had brought him to his knees. "You could have taken everything," Vorath said to the human diplomat. "You could have made us slaves. Why did you not?" The diplomat smiled sadly. "Because slavery creates only more enemies," she said. "More hate. More war. We want something different. We want a galaxy where our children can grow up without fear. Where your children can grow up without hate, that is worth more than any empire. Vorath had no answer. He could not understand creatures who thought this way. But perhaps, he realized, that was exactly the problem. He had never tried to understand humans. He had only tried to control them. Dr. Hannah walked through her laboratory for the last time. The weapons were being stored away. The secret facilities were being converted into research centers. The war machines were sleeping, hopefully forever. But she had a new mission now, sharing the good things humanity had created. Medical technology that could save billions of alien lives, agricultural methods that could end hunger on 100 worlds, energy systems that could replace the old, dirty ones. We built these things for war, she said to her assistant. But they can be used for peace too. That is the human way. We take what we have, and we make it better. Do you think they will trust us? Her assistant asked. After everything that happened, Hannah thought about it. Trust takes time, she said. But it starts with actions. We showed them our strength. Now we show them our heart. Eventually, they will see that we are not their enemies. We never were. Captain Yuna stood on the bridge of the Defiance. Her fleet was still out there, visible to all alien worlds. Not attacking, not threatening, just present, a reminder. She thought about her lost family, her burned colony, the screams that still haunted her dreams. For years, she had wanted nothing but revenge. She had dreamed of fire and death. She had counted the days until she could make them pay. But now, standing in victory, she felt only emptiness. Revenge had not brought her family back. Destroying the aliens would not erase her pain. She understood that now. What happens next? Her second officer asked. We watch, Yuna said. We wait. We hope they have learned. And we build something better for the children who come after us. That sounds boring compared to war. Yuna smiled. A real smile this time. Good, she said. Boring is what peace feels like. I think I could learn to like boring. Years later, in a classroom on a distant alien world, a young student raised their hand. Teacher, the student asked, why are humans so frightening? Crossed. Why? Crossed. Crossed. The teacher was old and had seen many things. The teacher remembered the human ships in the sky, the terror, the mercy that followed. Because they confuse everyone, the teacher said. They will take any insult. They will accept any mockery. They will smile and forgive, and try again and again to be friends. The teacher paused. But if you threaten their children, something changes. They become something else. Something ancient. Something that does not stop until the threat is gone. The strange thing is, they do not want to be this way. They try very hard to be kind. But when you push them too far, the teacher shivered. You learn why our ancestors should have left them alone. The student thought about this. So we should be nice to humans? Yes, the teacher said. Be nice to humans. Be their friends. Trade with them. Learn from them. But never, ever threaten what they love. Because the human heart is the strangest thing in the galaxy. It can forgive almost anything. But when it finally breaks, the teacher looked out the window at the peaceful sky. When it finally breaks, galaxies tremble. Far away, on a small blue planet called Earth, children played in parks while their parents watched. Ships flew through friendly skies. People laughed and loved, and lived without fear. The humans had shown the galaxy their teeth, and then they had put them away. But everyone knew the truth. Everyone remembered. The wolf was sleeping now. Kind and gentle and warm, but the wolf never forgot how to bite, and the galaxy would never forget why they should not wake it.